to the drive-thru and we want it. I mean, there are people that actually complain at a fast food restaurant. That's why it's called fast food, people. But they need to get it right. Well, church is not Burger King. You're not going to get it your way. You're not going to get it your way. And you're never going to get to where you're going to get to with that Happy Meal mentality. You want to want that blessing, get on your knees and pray for it. And do what the work that needs to be done so that you can get what you want. You only get what you put into it, honey. You only get what you put into it. Number 3, I got to keep going. This is a good one. Trying to be relevant that we actually heard the message of Jesus. Wow. This one's going to hurt. Ouch. There's nothing wrong with trying to be relevant. There's an ouch behind you, right? Dang you, people. Somebody said there's a fine line between serving the Lord and saying, and I said, no, there should be a bold line. It should be clear of whether you're on this side or whether you're on that side. Yeah. Now stay with me, church, because this is where we get some stuff confused. We can't be so trendy that we disfigure or contaminate the word of the Lord. What do I mean by that? You got to hear me out here because you're going to say, oh, okay. You know, we are known as a trendy church. It's the truth. We are. We are not your typical church where I'm wearing a 5-button suit. It's rare that I wear a tie. I'm wearing jeans for the most part. Sometimes we wear shorts and t-shirts to this place. And so we don't fit the mold of a traditional type church. So we get a lot of rap for it, you know, all trendy and, oh yeah, if you want to just, you know, say you go to church, just go there. You know, they don't really care there. They don't really preach much. They don't really teach much. Just go there. But if you want to be a good disciple of the Lord, you have to come to our church where we wear suits every day. Come on. And our women cannot wear makeup. And our women cannot do this, and you cannot go here, and you cannot do this, and then you're walking around like this. Oh, I must be a good disciple because I can't do anything. The scripture says, live in freedom. That's right. Be careful, don't confuse the two. You will see me up here in a song, you will see me up here in whatever, but the word of God does not change. Come on, the theology might change, but I will not change my principle. We believe what we believe. We believe that He came and died on the cross. We believe that there is sin. We believe that there is blessing. We believe that there is hell. We believe that there is heaven. We're not diluting it. We're not contaminating it. We're not polluting it. So if I come up here with a wife beater and tight shorts, who cares? The message is still the same. Give the Lord a good God. But here's the problem. People will mistake that trendiness. People will mistake that trendiness and say, well, look, pastor's like that, so I guess I can be like that. And so they will wear a cross around their neck or have a t-shirt that has a big old cross. Come on. Clothes, earrings, whatever the case may be. Something saying, oh, I'm a believer. And we think it's trendy. We say, well, I'm going to wear this. I don't want anybody to know. But every other thing is a mother. And then look, whatever. Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's keep on. Yeah, I just love Jesus, man. Come on. Don't get so trendy that the people cannot tell the difference whether you really serve God or you don't. That's right. Don't get too trendy that people are mistaken by your identity. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. Don't be so. If you do not look anything different from the world, and I'm not talking about appearance. That's right. I'm talking about the way you live, the way you talk, and faithfulness, and purity. If you don't look any different, oh my Lord Jesus. Come on. Then really you're just trying to be a trendy Christian. For I have news for you. God would rather you have Jesus in your heart than Jesus around your neck. That's right. It's not about what you're wearing, I tell you, it's how you're living. I gotta make a side note here because there's something that happened in this church. So if you are not a part of this church, you don't have to listen to this message. But if you consider LifeLine your church, if you consider myself your pastor, would you raise your hand? All right, then this message is for you. with all due respect to my friend Manny, I'm in the weight room, working out, and it amazes me the reverence that they have for that weight room. If you've never been there, you don't know what I'm talking about. Boys that have been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You cannot just walk into that weight room and act like you own the joint.
Come on.
You walk in there and there's rules. You will follow these rules. You can't dress a certain way. You got to dress exactly like what it tells you to. But the kicker is when I see kids, freshmen, going in there with a wire brush, cleaning the dirt off their shoes in a trash can right before they enter the weight room, because they are not allowed into the weight room with mud on their shoes. And I am amazed. They come in and the first thing the coach looks, there they are. Go, next. And I'm like, oh my God. The respect and the reverence for a weight room. But yet I hear that last week I had some young people doing here something that they shouldn't be doing.
Come on.
And nobody did anything about it. If I am your pastor and this is your church, I'm empowering you to stop any kind of trashy behavior in this place.
That's right. Come on.
If we can do it for a weight room, we should do it for God's house. I'm going to say that again. Oh, pastor, but I'm afraid someone's going to get offended. Let them get offended. Show them the way out. I will personally kick them in the aspirin to do what they got to do. But we will protect this house. We will honor this house. Whatever you want to do, but they want to do it. Whatever they want to do, this way I want to go. But it is the house of the Lord. Somebody give the Lord a praise. When that news came to me, I about wanted to throw up in my mouth. And I won't say what it was because you don't need to know. But you see stuff that I cannot see. Would you take a part of it? If this is your house, what would you do if it was your house? Exactly. Take care of it like it's your house. Let's show a little bit of reverence and courtesy in this place.
Come on.
Oh, but I don't see no crowd. It's not really a real church. You're the church. You're sitting right next to it.
That's right.
Be respectful. Oh, but I don't want to say anything because he knows him and he's connected to her. If 12 people have to leave, if 100 people have to leave, if 30 people have to leave, I don't care. We have to start this church with 30 people again. If God can build it and rebuild it, he'll do it again. But we're going to do it right. We're going to do it right. None of that nonsense. None of that nonsense here. In fact, for those of you that don't know, we have a life code. Most people have mission statements in their church. We have a life code. And if you have not read our life code on our website, I will read you one of the phrases. It's called, "We need your seats." Watch what it says. We will not cater to personal preference in our mission to reach the city. We are more concerned with the people we are trying to reach than the people we are trying to keep.
That's right.
That's what we are. Yes, we're about the numbers. We want to play this time, not this place, whatever. But we're going to do it with dignity, with sincerity, and we'll do it for the Lord. And I really do let people do whatever the heck they want to do. I got to keep going. So remember this, church. Number one, don't attend church just on Sunday.
That's right.
Live Him daily. Number two, don't be praying for God's provision when you're not even you're asking for something else, and God says, you're not even using what I gave you. Use what I gave you first, and then the rest will come. Don't say, no, I'm going to keep it like the Israelites. I'm going to keep it in the store just in case. It'll turn into maggots. Number three, don't try to be so trendy. Be truthful.
That's right.
Be careful. Be careful with that. Remember, we are not the exception. We should be the example. I'll finish with this story, and then I'll be out of your way. There was a pastor, you might have read the story. I love that he was getting ready to be introduced to a mega church. Nobody had seen them. It was a system church, which means they vote in pastors and they vote out pastors. For all of you that you know, don't know, we are not a systemic church. So if you don't like me, the door is right there. I'm going to be the pastor, so that removes me. This is just the way it works here. All right? I have a board that holds me accountable, and I have a Lord that will remove me while doing something that I shouldn't be doing. Right. I fear God more than I fear you, so don't puff at me, don't flex at me, don't do it. Really, settle down. Number two, my point of what I'm trying to say is that this pastor transforms himself into a homeless individual. Some of you read this? Yes, powerful. He turned himself into a homeless people, literally transformed his figure into a homeless person, and got to church early. Now, understand this, they were going to introduce him that day as the pastor of this megachurch. And he's walking around the crowd, and he's just dressed homeless, looks terrible. And he says in the story that from the thousands of people that were there, only 3 people greeted him. And he went around to everyone and doing whatever, and he wanted to sit in the front, but the ushers moved him to the back. Don't you ever do that, red team. Everybody here is equal.
That's right.
And they took him to the, no, we have a seat for you, we have a chair for you back here. And they moved him to the back. He said that he gets up and he started asking for people for money for change because he wanted to eat something afterwards. He would just kind of blew him up and said, you know what, not here, not in church. Long story short, the board comes up. We are so excited today to introduce our new pastor, Pastor blank and blank from blank and blank. Would you come on up? And here comes this homeless man, taking off his clothes. And the church began to cry. He says, I'm not here because of the amount of people. He goes, I'm not looking. In fact, I will quote exactly what he said. He says, today I see a gathering of people, not a church of Jesus Christ.
Wow. Come on.
The world has enough people, but not enough disciples.
Yep.
When will you decide to become disciples? He dismissed the service. That was the shortest sermon he had ever given.
Wow.
People stayed crying and repenting to the Lord, saying, we are so sorry. I thought, I think I'm going to try that one of these days.
Come on.
I'm going to go stand in the corner of the street looking all ghetto. Will you help me? I'm going to get you chiquitos. I'm going to get you. Now every homeless that you're going to say, you're take it. Take my wife. Take my wife. How my kid? Stand to your feet, amen.
Don't be swerving, baby. Come on.
Christianity was not meant to be a hobby, but a lifestyle. We're getting ready to hit Christmas. The best thing you can give to Jesus Christ is your example. I'm going to tell you this right now. Understand this right now, church. The only Jesus people will ever see is you. And if your impression or reflection of Jesus is terrible, they will never want to set foot in church. How you treat them, how you love them, how you live, how you act, what you do, what you say is the difference between someone coming and giving their life to the Lord and them saying, I'm better off the way I was. So this New Year's resolution, as we're ending this year, don't worry about losing weight or budgeting or exercise. Learn to be the light in darkness. Amen. The world is dark, church. Yes, let's be the light. Let's be the light. Let's be His darkness. And if people talk about you, let them. It's better to be a God pleaser than it is to be a people pleaser. If this sermon spoke to you and you said, you know what, I'm not really living the way I should, I'm not really speaking the way I should, or I'm not really being faithful or pure the way I should, and God, I want to give you myself, my body to you as a gift, and I want to start fresh. As we start this new year, I want to be like that despised Samaritan that didn't care what he had on. He didn't care who he was. He didn't care who the person that was injured. He saw a problem and he met the need. If maybe you've been a bigot, or maybe you discriminated upon people, or maybe you've had some hate towards somebody, maybe you need to let down the line here and just say, Lord, I'm done with this.